Hey everybody, this is Luis Rivera coming to you with a Sunday School at a glance, looking at the key verse, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1. And I'm just going to read it and give my quick thoughts on it and let you go, and then I'm going to work on the video and probably post it tomorrow. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God, and a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. So, for the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about faith, overcoming faith, all kinds of faith, and every kind of vantage point from every vantage point, and faith, how it applies to our life as we're in Christ and how we live, and how it is impossible to please God without faith. But what I haven't really, and I think I touched on it a little bit really early on, but didn't really go through, is the connection that faith has with hope. Even though those two things are two very different things, they are interconnected. And I think I've mentioned before that hope is something that is future and not yet attained. But faith is something that you yourself have the ability to do, because that's your God-given ability. As a human being, everyone has faith to some degree. And we also call faith fear. Faith and fear are cousins. They operate under the same mechanisms, for lack of a better way of explaining it. We use information. We take in information in ourselves, and then we react to that information. And in our reaction to that information, we will either fear the things that we have been informed of via our senses in this world, or we will have faith and overcome it, or faith and just live our life. And so a question was asked in my regular Sunday school at church. What is the difference between fear and reverence for God? And so the reverence for God, I explained, is something that we have come to already know God. And so because we know God, we have come in relationship with God, and now we love God, and we are learning about God and his ways. And so all that information is coming into us as we are relating with God. We are on the same platform. We're learning. Well, we're learning God. God already knows us even before the foundation of the world. But as we're learning God, we now use our faith in God to just trust in him and have confidence in regular things. We have confidence. We have boldness. We hold fast to our faith while things are going on in our lives. And these are things that were touched on in the previous Sunday school lessons. But when it comes to fear, like trembling fear because something you don't know or don't understand, or you have half information on, or even if you have information on, here's the difference between the fear of things and fear of God, or the fear of the Lord, which is a reverential fear. Fear of things, and let me just separate that into two things, because now you can have people in the world who fear things, and then you got people who know God and fear things. I think people who are in the world who fear things are in a better position than those who know God and fear things, because now you're touching on your faith. You're pretty much putting God to the side, and the things you know about God to the side because of this thing that you fear. And we have to take care that we don't fear things in this world or circumstances in this world. And this is kind of like, the Sunday school lessons dealing with the book of Hebrews. The audience there for the author of the book of Hebrews, they were going through persecution. They were going through all kinds of Judaizing, backbiting, people trying to get them to renounce renounce their faith in Christ and come back to Judaism. And with that kind of pressure they were feeling, because they thought that they were going to be rescued by Jesus Christ any day now, like the imminent return of Jesus Christ was at hand. And so they started to groan within themselves. They started to lose that faith. Now here's the connection between faith and hope. When you start to lose faith because of the things that are on around you in this world, that's where your hope starts to dissolve. What good is having any kind of hope if your faith is failing you? And so the difference between faith and hope is, faith is a right now belief in something that you can embrace, and that you can foster, that you can feed and actually empower and strengthen. That's a right now thing. But it can also be hindered right now by things that are going on. So you may things may happen in your life, like a pandemic, or death in the family, or you got hurt and your body's in pain, and you're sick and you have an ailment that's unto death, or that you just is a debilitating one. These things can now penetrate you and affect your faith. That's if you allow it. Now, if you're strong enough and you pray to God and you fast and all these other good things that help you, you can foster that faith. Or you can give in to your fears, or give in to the outside opposing forces that is trying to destroy your faith. And so I hope that gives you some kind of understanding where I'm coming from as I explain 2 Corinthians 5:1. Just look at it in a glance. For Paul now tells the Corinthian church, he says, "For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved," dissolved being another word for saying destroyed, taken apart. Dissolve meaning exactly what it is. Dissolve into pieces, destroyed, mutilated in any kind of way, broken up. However you want to look at it, dissolve is just taking apart. You're being broken apart. The body, your earthly house of this tabernacle, broken apart. You lose a hand, you lose a limb, you lose your heart, you lose your head, you lose your life. Eventually, if this body fails, the author is saying, Paul is saying, we have a building of God. Now, this house is a building for the earth, this earthly house, a house for the earth. But we have a building of God that is a house that is not made with hands. So now we have another house, not this earthly house, but another house that is of God. Remember last week, or the last Sunday school lesson, I spoke of the term, the phraseology of God, things that come from God or is of God, is spiritual, is good for you, it's positive, it's of God. So we have a building of God, and a house not made with hands. Talking about God made it, because God don't have hands. God is invisible. He's indiscernible. I made that point countless many times. And then he says that body, or that house that's not made with hands, that's of God, is eternal. Meaning it lives forever and ever. It cannot be dissolved like that earthly house. And not only is that, but it is in the heavens waiting for you. And so this is a hope that is drawn before us. But when we are in this earthly house, as of right now, up until whenever God says it's time, we still have to go through in this earthly house. And so because we're going through in this earthly house, we have to be mindful that even though this earthly house gets destroyed piece by piece, it may come to that. Not everybody's going to live happily ever after in this earth. And we also mentioned a couple of characters in the book of Hebrews chapter 11. How they had faith, but that did not exclude them from experiencing hardship in this world, experiencing persecutions. And we're going to see this in this upcoming Sunday school lesson, how in this body we are frail and we suffer afflictions because of this body. This body is deteriorating. It is dissolving as we speak. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like everybody has cancer. If you look at it that way, some people have forms of cancer that is like right now and very imminent. You know, they have months to live or a couple of years to live. But we have a limited time on this earth. And this is not the way God planned it for us. As a matter of fact, you see characters in the Bible that were born and they live for hundreds of years, some 1,000. And so our body was not made to be destroyed and suffer loss. We were not supposed to be dissolved or dissoluting, if that's even a word. And so we have this hope that is set before us, but right now our faith must continue to remain strong in this earthly house. And Sunday school lesson is going to be referring to that. As a matter of fact, the Sunday school lesson is called An Eternal Hope. And so I just showed you that just now. And so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. And I don't want to go too far into the weeds, you know, with the rest of because that's what the Sunday school lesson is going to be about for tomorrow. I'm going to post it tomorrow. I know last week my video was late, but this week, this Sunday school lesson is going to be at least tomorrow. And you'll have a couple of days to ruminate, to listen to it, little here, little there, until you finish it and complete it. And you're ready for next Sunday, and you're equipped with some knowledge. Hopefully you got something new out of it. Hopefully there's some new scriptures that I might present to you that you could present in your classes. Be like, oh my God, I never thought of that, blah, blah, blah. And you edify your house where you're at, where you worship. And hopefully people smile because you came and you were able to put something into the conversation. And so know this, that if our earthly house, this tabernacle, were dissolved, meaning destroyed, we have a building of God. And we also have, Jesus himself says, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go and I prepare a place for you, that where I am, there you may be also. And so, what do you think those mansions are? What do you think those buildings are? What do you think those houses are? What do you think those rooms in heaven are? Those rooms in heaven is your place. It's where you're going to abide. It's where that building not made with hands, that is eternal in the heavens is. And so hopefully that hope remains strong in you and your faith carries you all the way through. Hold on to God's unchanging hand and you will receive your hope. Just don't let anything in this world take that from you. God bless you. I hope you got something out of that Sunday school in a glance.